Hello, everybody. Welcome to Influencer Interviews and Insights with Rooster Hat and Takes. This is episode number 1 of our podcast. We're super excited to be starting up these interviews with some of the most influential influencers and content creators in the world, especially in the wrestling community. Here with me, I have Jason Hatfield and Cameron Wood. Thanks for coming on, guys. This is exciting. I can't wait to team up with you guys and interview others, but we are going to stay in-house today with Wrestling Takes. He's going to be our first interview, so we're super excited about this. Jason's here, goes by Hats, a lifelong friend of mine. We started this journey with Next Level, and we've reached out to the wrestling community, and we're really growing something big. And this is just another way to continue to grow the wrestling community and meet some of the best content creators in the world. Jason, how you doing, man?
Oh, doing great, Matt. Thanks. This is awesome to get our podcast off the ground. Episode 1, it's going to be great. We're going to have some fun. Get to learn a little bit about Cameron here, and he's over in the UK, so it's pretty exciting and fun stuff.
Cameron, thanks for not only jumping on the show with us, but being a big, huge part of Next Level and our outreach, right? So I know we're staying in-house today, and you're going to be our first person we're interviewing, but tell us a little bit about you. Tell us how you got into wrestling. What drives you to create some of the greatest content that people are seeing on the internet right now?
Yeah, my name's Cameron, obviously known as Wrestling Takes on TikTok, Instagram, Twitch, wherever you've seen me. I started watching wrestling in about 2012, just before WrestleMania 28, with all the Rock and Cena once-in-a-lifetime stuff. And to be honest, I don't really know how I got into it. I just started watching it as a kid, and I really just enjoyed it. And that period from 2012 to 2015, I was watching it every week, non-stop, just getting to know all the different characters in WWE and just having a good time watching it. In terms of how I started creating content, it was on TikTok in about 14 months ago. It's February 2023, and I was bored one day in the Easter holidays, so I just thought, you know what, let's create a video. And honestly, I hadn't been keeping up with wrestling too much prior to that, so I just thought, I know a lot about wrestling in general, and I don't see too much wrestling content out there. It's not an oversaturated market, so I thought, why not do it? So I created my first video, got about 3,000 views. I was quite happy with that, and then the second one got about 50,000, and then from there, I've just never really stopped, really.
That's awesome.
That's super exciting. And what you've grown up to, how many followers now?
400,000 on TikTok, which is pretty amazing, really. I never expected to get that far.
That's massive. Absolutely massive.
That is. And you just reached that milestone not too long ago. So congratulations on that. And obviously, we hope to see you blow it out of the water, and we're going to continue to help you with that growth. Jason, tell us a little bit about not only just yourself, how did you get into wrestling? Because I know we've been lifelong friends, right? But You are a diehard wrestling fan, and you kickstarted this community on Next Level. And we're going to talk about Next Level, people, and what we're doing there with our content creators and growing out the wrestling community. But Jason, tell us a little bit about how you got so involved in wrestling and what you really enjoy about it.
Oh man, I've loved wrestling ever since I could probably crawl. I just love the characters and how they're, obviously you can tell I love comic books too. It's like having a comic book character superhero on screen, and that you can look up to, and then you got the bad guys versus the good guys, and it's awesome. It's a story, the stories are great. Just the way it all of it is. I mean, the moves, when I was little, I loved like martial arts and stuff like that, and just trying to, with my brother, we'd be holding pillows and trying to kick the pillow and doing moves on each other and slamming each other on the bed. And then, and also love video games. So when when I got my Super Nintendo, WWE Raw came out, I was hooked, and that really helped me love wrestling even more because I could control the characters. And and growing up, a while ago, wrestling you couldn't talk about, and it was like I held it all in and couldn't really talk to anybody about it. And now, way how wrestling's so hot. Everybody's talking about wrestling, and I love it so much. And what we're doing at Next Level, growing that wrestling community out, and to have all the fans have that place to talk about wrestling, and it's awesome. I love what we're doing on Next Level.
Right, it's that access, right? There's no other place or platform that allows the access between content creators and fans and talent alike. There's a place for everybody there, so that's awesome. So Cameron, what you talked a little bit about how you got into it, but tell us one of your favorite moments about wrestling and something that really sticks out to you as a fan, not necessarily even as a content creator, because we know that has a little. We want to know what moment stood out for you growing up as a fan.
Yeah, I'd have to say 2014 Survivor Series, Team Authority versus Team Cena. Obviously, as a kid, everybody loves John Cena. If you grew up during that time period, he was literally like the Superman of WWE. So I was all for Team Cena, and he had Ryback, Big Show, Dolph Ziggler, and Eric Rowan on his team, I believe. And it got down to it, and Cena got eliminated, and I was just furious. I was like, what the hell? And by the end, it was Dolph Ziggler on his own against 3 of Team Authority, and I was like, I was so sad because one of the match stipulations was that if Team Cena loses, then they all get sacked from WWE. So yeah, as you can presume, as a kid, I was like getting really emotional, thinking Dolph Ziggler's got no chance here against 3. But I'm pretty sure we all know Dolph Ziggler. That was probably the best moment of his career and one of my favorite memories of wrestling as a kid. And then obviously the iconic Sting made his debut, which was just an incredible moment, really.
Yeah, that's super exciting.
Like, what does the content creation all entail? Like, how do you do that?
Well, it's not actually as hard as you'd think. I do most of it just on my phone. Like, I'm not a good editor by any means. I'm a basic editor. I've not got any real skill that the normal person doesn't have. Just a bit of creativity. That's all you need. One day I just picked up my phone, thought of an idea. I think it was wrestlers that I think are overrated, just giving my opinions on things. And then the following started going up and up. I think it took me about a month and a half to get to 10K. And it was mainly just giving my wrestling takes. That's where the name came from. Just giving my takes on wrestling, seeing how it was going. And then people seemed to like some of my takes, but some of the controversial ones they didn't like. So that got a lot of comments. I wasn't doing it on purpose. Just obviously people did disagree with wrestling, as with anything else. But yeah, really, all you've got to do is be consistent and creative. That's the 2 terms that I always use. Just stay consistent and be creative with your ideas.
Yeah, I've been trying to teach myself as well and starting to make some content. Not as good as you. You are the man, but I'm learning, and it's fun to do too.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, I like
everyone has to start somewhere as well.
Yeah, I like going back and getting the old school clips of what I grew up loving, and trying to find some NWO clips and old school Sting, and
yeah,
that's the good stuff to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were definitely the fun. Those are what I remember, right, Jason? The Ultimate Warrior, the Hogan days, NWO, DX, right? Those are the days that really stick out to me and whatnot as a wrestling fan. But now the storylines have completely changed, right? And they're just growing. It's great what we're seeing in the wrestling business for sure. What's one of your favorite moments, Cam, as a wrestling creator that you can think of? Maybe it's a video you created. I know you mentioned your first video was you got the 3,000 likes, right? But there has to be something now that even overcomes that feeling. What was one of those moments as a creator that really is like, man, I'm doing something right?
Probably my first video that ever got to 1 million views, and it was a weird one. I think it was wrestlers that look older than they actually are, which is probably a bit of an insult to people that were involved in it. But at the time, I was still new to content. I wasn't really sure what I was doing, in all honesty. But I did it, and I remember I was sitting with my family and just looking at it and seeing the numbers go up and up, and it was like 100,000, 200. And then it took about 3 days and it got to 1 million. And that feeling was just like, I'm just a normal kid from a small town, and I've just got 1 million views on TikTok. And I just didn't know how I'd done it, in all honesty. But yeah, I just kept on going and tried to capitalize on them views as much as possible. And as you mentioned before, built a following of 400,000, which is still just incredible to me.
Well, I mean, that tells you you're doing something right, you know? So, and I think, just giving some advice for people to who are trying to build it up. I know Jason is with our Inside the Squared Circle, his own personal profile, but is that consistency probably the main thing, is where you're not bouncing around all over the place? Is being consistent important when creating this content?
Yeah, I would say so. In the really early days, I was creating between 5 and 10 videos a day, which probably isn't healthy for you, but I was trying to grind as much as possible to get to that 10,000 followers. So if you do set yourself goals, you will achieve them. I 10,000, 50,000, 100,000, so on. But yeah, I'd say the main thing is to be consistent. But like I mentioned earlier, have something creative, have something unique about your videos that you won't find in other videos. Whether that's incredible editing ability, which I don't have personally, whether it's just an opinion that you have. A lot of people just like to go on to hear other people's opinions and talk about wrestling in the comments. But yeah, just pick up the phone or the computer, whichever one you want to use to create, and just start and just see how it goes and just have fun with it as well.
What's what's your favorite platform to post on? Is it TikTok, Instagram?
I think probably TikTok for two reasons. One, it's a lot easier than the likes of Twitch and YouTube to get people to watch on. It's much easier to build an audience on TikTok. So if I was recommending, the two easiest would be probably TikTok and Instagram. And also with TikTok, you do also get paid when you hit 10,000 followers, which is a pretty nice advantage to it. You get to enter the creativity program. So yeah, I'd say probably just about TikTok, even though it does have its negatives, as being highlighted in the current media right now.
Right. Yeah, and that's always going to be a question and debate, and we don't really want to get into that. But so let's think next level, right? You partnered with Next Level. You're one of their brand ambassadors. Their Connect Link, right? What do you think about Next Level's Connect Link? How has it helped you grow as a creator and get your brand out there even more?
Yeah, so prior to using the Next Level Connect link, I actually used Linktree, which is probably the most popular social media linking platform there is out there. And Linktree is really basic. It's just a white canvas and you can add your socials on there. There's no personality to it. There's no creativity to it. And then Next Level came along and I heard them out. And since then, I've been using their Connect link and it is leaps and bounds better than Linktree. So for starters, you get a background video, which is really unique about Next Level. So whether that's your best video you've done, whether one of your favorite wrestling moments, you can just have that as your background video. And then you can obviously link all your social medias in front of that. So if you're on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, a podcast, whatever it is, you can link all of that onto your Next Level Connect link. So all your followers can find you on there. And it's just a really personalized and creative way of showing it, because you can have all your talents on there, all your background videos, and it's just really cool.
Awesome. That's super exciting. And again, that's just a feature within the app, right? That doesn't, that's not even the part that really connects you with the fans or the followings. That feed that we have on the Next Level app, which we are now over 10,000 users on the app. Over 1,400 users are in the wrestling community alone already. So we're growing it out, and that's all within a month and a half span. So with the help of you, Takes, and then Hats and all of his hard work, we're really growing out that wrestling community. All right, enough about wrestling for a second. Takes. Yeah. So you're from the UK, right? The UK, yeah. Every time I talk to somebody who's from the UK, it's dark, it's rainy, it's nasty. Tell me, is that what's happening? Because I'm in the Sunshine State. And it's beautiful.
Well, it depends on who you talk to, really. Like the older generation, like my grandparents, they really like it here. If you like the countryside, farm stuff like that, then it's perfect. The trouble is, it's not in my area in particular. I can't speak for the whole of the UK because I've not been to the whole of the UK. But there's not really much to do, and the weather is one of the reasons for that. Every day, pretty much, other than a few days in the summer, it's rain, it's grey, it's windy, it's cold. It's just not nice. I don't want to put the UK down completely, because I know some people will be really they'll be proud to live in the UK. But me personally, I don't see many benefits to living here. Obviously, it's a safe country, stuff like that. But yeah, put it this way: I'd rather live in the United States. Well, some parts of the United States, anyway.
Yeah, it sounds like you just described Michigan from where I live.
Yeah.
So Cam, what, from being in the UK, you guys call food different names.
Yeah.
You eat different things. Heard that you never eat meat. Is that true?
Well, I don't now, and before I get all the comments saying you weird vegan, whatever and ever, but I'm not a vegan. I'm not a vegetarian. It's just purely off of taste. When I was about 3, I went to SeaWorld in Orlando with my nana and granddad,
Yes.
and they made a big mistake of giving me 3 hot dogs. I think they just went crazy that day, and then I was sick violently. Sorry to be too graphic, but to that day, I've not had a fear of them. I will not go near a hot dog. I won't eat one anyway. It's just like, no, thank you. I don't want to have that experience ever again. Burgers just don't really appeal to me. I don't eat fish, even though I'm from the UK. You Americans probably think he eats fish every day. I don't like fish. I have actually tried these foods like burgers once or twice. I'm just not a fan. I'm a very picky eater.
Yeah. Trust me, so are my kids. That's normal. But
Yeah.
that's funny. So you don't eat burgers anymore. No red meat, essentially, right? It's just
Yeah.
chicken and chicken.
Yeah. Chicken, all different forms of chicken. I have mince in the form of chicken, so obviously it's normally beef mince, like ground mince, but I eat chicken mince. I mean, it is healthier as well if you're into health and fitness. Chicken is a good alternative to red meat. It helps with like bowel health and all that sort of stuff. But for me, it's just purely off taste. I just eat chicken as my main staple. Just chicken.
We got to get
That's
you over across the water and get you to a nice barbecue.
Yes, I would probably like American. Oh, I wouldn't eat ribs or brisket or any of that stuff, but I'd eat all the chicken, all the barbecue chicken.
All the barbecue chicken.
All of it.
Yeah.
All the barbecue chicken. That's awesome. So let's jump back into you as a content creator real quick. Like the it's hard to get your name out there, right? And we're seeing this with some of the influencers we have on Next Level. What could you say or is there certain people that you've maybe reached out to or you watched their content before you started doing any type of creation yourself? Or is it just, hey, like you said earlier, just pick up the phone and give it a whirl? But what kind of direction would you give them to say, hey, if you want to pick this up, you want to be a content creator, an influencer, however you want to describe yourself, and you really want people to enjoy your content, what is that one piece of advice that you would give them?
Honestly, I just wouldn't overthink it. Like I said earlier, just pick up the phone and do it. Obviously, like before I asked that, I did watch a lot of wrestling TikTokers such as Santi Zap, Conman, who we do have as a part of the Next Level team. But yeah, I'd sort of use them as some sort of inspiration. But at the same time, you can't just create the same content that other people are creating. You have to have something that's unique about your content. Have you got a skill that nobody else has or that few have? Are you really good at reacting to wrestling? Are your reactions funny? Do you just have good opinions? Do you inform people about wrestling and the inside of the business? But yeah, like I say, I would try and find out what that one thing is that you are good at, whether it's just something as simple as editing or graphic design and anything like that. But yeah, honestly, don't overthink it. Just go for it and see how it goes. Stay consistent, be creative, and just see what can happen. Because, like I said, a year ago, I never thought I'd be sitting here. Let's put it that way.
Right. Right. And that's sort you gotta put yourself out there. I know Jason has a question to ask here in a second, but what is your ultimate goal, right? With being a content creator, is it something you want to pursue and continue doing for the rest of your life? Is it more of a hobby? Do you want it to be something that defines you, or do you have other goals and aspirations?
Well, it is something I'd like to turn into a career if I could. I mean, I've got, like I say, 400k on TikTok, so it's not necessarily unbelievable that I could do that. But I'm just taking it day by day at the minute, trying to grow and grow day by day, seeing how many followers I can get to. I mean, the ultimate goal would be to move out to the United States, because over here, anyone who watches WWE in the UK or Europe will know the shows start at 1 a.m. and end at about 5 a.m. So it's horrendous. So for that reason, I can't really create content on Raw or SmackDown, because obviously we all have works, school commitments, so you can't be staying up till 5 a.m. So it would be really helpful if I was in the US, so I could then create content on Raw and SmackDown Live. So it would be really helpful if I could do that maybe one day.
And I think that's awesome. I mean, it's that you bring that up. We have a lot of influencers on the app right now on Next Level that do go live, right? And the engagement is super cool, and that's sort of what drew me back into the wrestling, right? Is to be able to message these guys and them to read your message out loud or answer it. So yeah, that disadvantage of being over there could be something, but yeah, I mean, it's super cool that if you do get that option to get over here and start live streaming, that could really boost you take your career off even further.
I mean, I do go live once a month for the premium live events, just for the reason that they're really big and I don't want to miss out on them. So for WrestleMania, I will be going live for the Saturday and Sunday, and for NXT Stand and Deliver. So I don't miss out on the really big stuff, but it's just a little nitpicking thing. I would like to do Raw and SmackDown and maybe NXT and AEW as well.
All right, Cam. So how about you tell us something that no one knows about yourself?
Oh, all right, this is a tricky one. I mean, something not many people who follow me on TikTok know is that, I mean, obviously being from the UK, it's quite highly likely, but I'm a big football fan. Used to play football up until like October before last, at quite a high level, like semi-professional level, obviously at a kids level, like under 15s. But yeah, I was a goalkeeper. I'm a big Liverpool fan. I wasn't too bad at football. I'm not saying I would have made it professional or anything. But yeah, football and wrestling are like my two main sports that I like watching. Like I say, big Liverpool fan. I try and make it to games whenever I can. Yeah.
That's
so
awesome.
Let's clarify one thing. When you say football, you really mean soccer.
Here we go.
So I mean, I'm not here to judge, but you guys.
I've got a question about that.
There.
In our
here we
football,
go.
You actually use your feet. In your football, you use your feet like once every time you get a touchdown. So why don't you just call it handball?
Well, because that sport already exists, right? So
yeah, our sport's been going for longer. Started in the 1800s. Football.
Tomato takes.
Oh God.
Yeah. But yeah, the real football here in America and your football or footy. Do you guys call it footy? Is that even a thing?
Yeah, we do sometimes.
Okay.
We just never ever call it soccer. It's a disgrace to call it soccer.
I had a feeling. Listen, I have a lot of.
It's all right.
Over there, I know how big football is, and the fan bases over there are just incredible. And I know actually, Mr. Tesh, one of our guys, he's a huge, I think, Liverpool fan. Tesh, don't kill me if I got that wrong, but I think he's a huge Liverpool fan as well. I know that football over there is huge. So no, and football here is just a different breed of sports for sure. So, Cam, anything else that you want to share or anything off the top of your head before we wrap things up with our first podcast here on influencer interviews and insights?
I mean, I don't really think I've got too much else to say. I mean, I appreciate you all for following me, everyone that's coming to watch this podcast from my socials. But yeah, like I say, if you are wanting to start out for yourself, just give it a go, see how it goes. I do have a Discord server, if that's helpful. If you want to join there, you could always message me for some tips. My username on there is just the same as my TikTok, wrestling_takes_. I'm always available to be messaged if you do need me. And yeah, get yourself on the Next Level app, especially other content creators that want to come and create content on there, or just up-and-coming creators. It's a great platform to get into early before it blows up. Then you could be one of the big creators on there.
Absolutely.
That's what I was going to say. Follow you on the Next Level app, right? That's one place where it's small enough right now that you can be intimate with your fans and you can have conversations and stuff like that as well. You can message and comment on all their posts. So give them a follow on the Next Level app. Also, it's truly going to be the wrestling community in the future. We're super excited in the direction that we're going with the people who we have and the support from Next Level as well. Again, that's nxlvl.app. You can download it in the Google Play or the Apple Store. So go do it. Follow Next Level, but continue to watch influencer interviews and insights with Rooster Hat and Takes. Guys, for our first episode, I couldn't be happier to have Takes as our first content creator to interview. Hatfield takes me back to when you and I were kids and growing up together and playing sports together to have these conversations, and now working with you, even better. So
yeah, absolutely.
Any final words from you, Hats?
No, this is super cool. Never in a million years would I ever think that I'd be doing a podcast. It's awesome. We're gonna have such a great time making more episodes. I believe next week, our second episode, we're gonna have Jake TV also be coming on our show, and it's gonna be great. And he's an awesome dude, so it's gonna be a wild ride.
Yeah, he creates great content as well. He's gonna hit us from the other side a little bit too with the WWE 2K as well. So we'll get the video game side of
and used to be a wrestler as well. So that will be very interesting.
So stay tuned next week, everybody, for our next podcast. It will be airing every Friday. So pay attention. Check your socials. Check Next Level. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. That's Influencer Interviews and Insights. Check us out there. Guys, thank you so much for today. It was an absolute blast creating this first podcast. It's only going to get better going forward. And our fans, followers, Takes' fans and followers, stay tuned for our next episode. And we'll learn a little bit about Jake TV.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Alrighty.
Thank you so much. See you later.
See ya.
See you guys.